feeling real, y'all. Are you ready to go? Tell me what you wanna know. A real live episode. Mike Gilcreast podcast show. Hey, are you ready? Hey, are you ready? Are you ready to go? Tell me what you want.
Hello, everyone out there in podcast land. This is Mike Gilcreast on the Mike Gilcreast Show, live and in person. I almost didn't make it here today because it was Mother's Day, and I did not know. But I had all my ducks lined up and everything. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there in podcast land. Happy Mother's Day. I hope you had a fantastic day. Some people went to church, some people, did other events that's planned and unplanned, and some people don't feel good. And so it depends on where you at, but I want to wish you, a happy Mother's Day, and hopefully you had a fantastic day. My wife, she doesn't cook on Mother's Day, nor do I cook, or she cook on Father's Day. And so we generally go out to dinner, so I asked her dad, like, where you want to eat? It's Mother's Day. Pick where you want to go. And so she had one place called, we down here in Florida. It's called Fishbone. Great place we've been to. It's on the high end thing, and I was looking forward to going there because you could get the whole fish and stuff. Anyway, and but she's went to there. There's another place, and then she said Season 52, and so we actually went there, and of the places, Season 52 is probably the most healthiest. They don't use butter. Everything's fresh, and so we went and shared our time at Season 52 and had a fantastic dinner. And we both had sea bass with wild rice and there's snow peas and a salad. I had a spinach strawberry salad, and she did Caesar salad. So, but it was good and fulfilling too. I am absolutely full, and from that. And so we did that, and now we're here. I'm here. She's in a different place, but here, we did the Mother's Day thing. But happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and I actually preached today and talked about the mothers and stuff. And I had this thought where I remember my mom when, and and you think back and reminisce about the stuff that you went through and how mothers affected your lives and stuff like that. So shout out to all the moms. Moms are fantastic being. I'm speaking. I speak mostly on a different caveat, but of relationships. That's the other side to moms, because who wouldn't want to, the right man or the right woman in their lives, and to raise families and go forth and build a life together. And so that's the goal. But all these things happen. But I'll tell you, watching my mom struggle through life. And then I grew up, mainly I had a father, and he was in the early part of my life, but he spent some time in jail, and he wasn't around much. So, and then they got divorced when I was probably 7, 8 years old. And so I pretty much grew up without a father, but I had a father. I knew I've seen him time to time, but he was not really in my life. So a lot of people probably can, attest to that, but moms was there all the time. And I'll tell you, my mom had 7 sons, 3 daughters. So it was 10 of us. And the thing is, I think back, and I was telling someone how, when my mother tried dating, the kids, we were so bad. I'm serious, and not so much me, but seriously, my brothers and sisters, it was so much going on with 10 kids. Imagine that trying to date, you know. And we talk about finding love, right? Finding love on the rebound. My mom was married, divorced, and then she tried, to date. The kids was not letting my mom date, because we were selfish and but the kids was bad. So if the guys try to come over, that we mess with the guy so much, and he see 10 kids, he said, I don't want any of that, so so that was that. And so she never remarried, never. And kids pretty much are selfish. They don't want to share their parents with anyone, and so I can attest to that. And so but yeah, that was the case of my mom, and I didn't know I was going to talk about that, but it's quite fitting, for this conversation, because find love and a rebound. And just imagine if you got two or three kids and trying to find love. I think it's complicated. I think it's hard, and it's horrible when you have spoiled kids. And we were spoiled kids. It was 10 of us. I keep saying it was 10. And we range from, probably 16, if that, down to, two, and but she got the divorce, and then she had two other kids after the divorce, and so forth, so on. So it was eight of us, but 10 in total. And but her relationships that she tried to inhabit didn't work, but she ended up getting pregnant. And so there I have two brothers and sisters. We call it by, we're flesh and blood, but they were, they had different fathers. And so but yeah, but it was tough, and no way in the world she could have dated to get married, not with 10 kids, not with 8 kids. I mean, I think over five, I think is pretty complicated to especially if they're young and not already grown, for a woman to get into a self-sustaining relationship. I think is next to impossible, for real. And not impossible, but next to impossible. And so to want to be in that type of relationship. And I'm just being factual, because if I was, truth be told, right, I'm a single guy, and I meet a lady and she got 5 kids. I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy. I don't even want to you know you know whatever I could have gotten out the relationship, I wouldn't even want it. Not with 5 kids. It just, that's too much for me. I never wanted 5 kids myself. So why would I get into a relationship? That's why I tell people, you have to know what you want. You have to know what you're looking for. You have to do your list, because some things not going to work with the people. Just like if I if I'd have met my wife today and I had 5 kids, I don't think she would have married me. Truth be told, right? I don't think my game was that tight to have 5 kids and marry her. And I think women and men are alike like that. There's it's suggest or selective as to how many kids you have based on if they will be interested in having a relationship, whether it's man or woman. And that's probably a different conversation. But yeah, but just to throw it out there and finding love, I think for the real facts of it, it will be hard to do. To be have multiple kids. It's hard enough with two, one or two. It's hard enough. Women, y'all can attest to that. And, if you got one or two kids and you're single trying to date, you can attest that it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to, have a relationship that you could depend on, count on, and plan to grow. It's hard just to go into with the mindset, just to go into that relationship. It's absolutely hard. I'm sitting back, and I these things never even crossed my mind. It's just doing the show, stuff like that pops up in your head. And it's like, wow, wow, wow. And even with me, when I was married, and I told the folks, I got kids, and I'm separated and I live with somebody else. And believe it or not, and I'm speaking to me, and that stuff's in my book. But for real, I'm telling you true stuff, right? Women still want to date me. I tell them I'm married, I'm separated, I live with someone else, and I'm not sure how long we'll be together, and I got a couple kids, and I'll tell you, women still wanted to date me. Now, I didn't understand that, and maybe somebody can explain that, whatever. But I was still marketable, and I'm a dude, but I have two kids, two different women, and but I was still marketable enough that they didn't care about the two different women, and they didn't care that I was married and separated, you know, and I didn't understand that. I didn't, and to speak of it, even now, look at it, I didn't understand that. And but it all worked out for me in the long run. Yes, I won, but I didn't understand that. And I think, when you're marketable regardless. And I don't know if it was just a conversation. I don't know if it was direction I was headed. I know it was my, outlook in life. But something I had attracted women to me, something I was doing, or it's a conversation, something was, and women, y'all can answer this, what makes you attract to a guy who have that much stuff going on? They're married, they're separated, I mean, I was unstable. I mean, if I'm just be honest about myself, I was totally unstable. When I met my wife today, but she was my fiance, I'm telling you, and on top of all that, I couldn't even. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, yeah. I crack myself up. So check it. Yeah, I get a little help. On top of all that, right? I couldn't even write checks. I had bad credit. I filed bankruptcy, so that was following me from years back, and several years back, and I was still marketable. And I don't know, women. What is it? Why do you guys like men of my stature, men that's like I used to be, right? And the only thing I had going for me, and maybe this was it, maybe, right? Um, I was in the military. I was in the military. Was that it? I mean, women is y'all ain't saying nothing to me, right? So was that it? Was it the fact I was in the military? Hey, Linda, happy Mother's Day to you. That's my big sis out there. All right. Linda, happy Mother's Day from Mike and Mel. But seriously, women, y'all, I know some of y'all out there. Why do women attract to men like me? You know, or like I used to be, right? It's from my past. It's not current, definitely not current, right? But I was married to my first wife. I was separated, and then I was living with another woman, and that was shaky, at best. It was a great relationship. I was the shaky part because I knew I wasn't sane. She was looking to get married to me for real, and generally, I lived with this woman for a couple of years, and she thought for sure we was gonna get married, and I just wasn't. I left her to be with the wife I'm with today, and so I know that's not, that wasn't happening, So, and then I was still dogging. I still was out there. But why do women stay? Like she was a little naive. She wasn't, um, I didn't give her the inclination that I was leaving. I didn't tell her this, that, and other, but there's other things that go in there. You have to read the book for the juicy part. All right. And so, but my point is, why do women like guys that are married, separated, live with other women, and go from there? I mean, I I don't understand that. And I'm a dude. And the thing is, I turned out to be good for my relationship now, even though I had all that stuff going on, baggage, if you will. That's what we call it, right? Um, when I met my wife, she knew my story, and then when I met her, I had a ton of women. I had women everywhere, seriously, and I was amazed, and not that I can answer my own question, but I was amazed, enamored. I was perplexed. I was, intrigued. I mean, just all the emotions flowing through me that she would be interested in me, the wife I have today. And the thing is, I don't know how you guys see guys to commit to guys or be in that relationship to guys. I don't know how y'all do it. I mean, I don't think like a woman. That's why I asked her the question. If you want to chime in, and tell me, why do women do that? Or, and maybe you're not the woman that's, oh, I'm never doing that. Maybe you're that person. Hey, chime in. But I don't understand that, and I wish I was in the audience, probably, 300-400 people in the audience. I would ask a question like that. Seriously, because we're gonna talk, when you're doing a podcast, people don't always interact, and they're there, but I know somebody wanna answer that, why do women like or attract guys? And let's just sum it up. They like the bad boys, but why do women like guys that are married or separated, or married and separated? I mean, and they want to build a life with them. And I'll tell you, I did that for years. I did that for years, and I didn't understand. I'm like, wow, people like me. So I'm like, is it the uniform that I was wearing? Because I was trying to figure out, why do people like me. I'm trying to figure out, why they're interested in me, and and I never really figured it out, but I was living the life regardless. I kept moving forward life, and things that happening. So I'm like, okay, let's just do it, because it is what it is, and then go from there. But just a question I put out there, because it popped up in my mind. I'm like, because I was living a life, but I never. That's a question I never really asked people. You know, um, why is that? And there's a reason. There's a phenomenon. I'm sure there's reasons why people say yes, or they do. They looked at the potential. Do they? Because I thought I was going to med school for real. And so, was it my conversation? Was it uniform, or was they? Are they? Were they tired? Were the women just tired of being lonely, or by themselves and not in a relationship, or was I just a good catch? And so my fullest potential, I think it wasn't addressed until, I think, after I got married the second time. And that's when I start reaching, goals, and start, achieving, successes. And so on the real, I don't understand why. Because I see women in all types of relationships, and that's why I talk about stuff like this. But at the same time, I'm not understanding, what make women tick. And they're like, okay, I'm going with this guy. This guy, looks like he's doable. I mean, what is it? Really, what is it that make you think, or look, and say, this is the guy, and he got all this baggage, and you could work with that. My wife, told me, she said she looked at me and how I was, even though I had the past and baggage and stuff. She looked at me and said, I could work with this. And that was amazing to me. But it turned out it was true. So you guys, women, I tell you, y'all got more power than you realize. When I just look at my wife, I'm like, y'all must see something that men don't see. It's got to be a sixth sense or something, that men doesn't see, and when they're out there of looking at longevity or potential of a relationship that's happening and moving forward. Um, I don't know that answer. I live it, and even my wife, and she'd tell me, if I asked her, she'd tell me, well, I just knew. I just like, how do you know what? I don't have a red flag that I'm going to change. I'm going to be better. I'm going to stop cheating. I mean, really, I didn't have a sign on my forehead that said that, but she just knew I was worth taking that chance. And I'm like, how do y'all do that? How do y'all do that? How do you know? Because guys can be like, And women would be like, oh, he taking advantage of her and this and that. But I believe women are a lot smarter than guys or people give them credit for. I believe women, y'all got something that men don't have. And for me to be in a, I'm telling you, honestly, seriously, for me to be in a relationship today, 30 plus years in church and faithful to one woman, that's mind boggling to me because I've never been that way. I didn't stop cheating till I got married. And so how do you guys see that and can build a relationship? But if that's also true, the other question is, why you guys make so many mistakes of not having a successful relationship? If y'all have this fortitude, that a sixth sense, if you will, that you can see the potential of somebody, or do y'all just quit and give up and take anybody? And is that it? Because if you apply yourself, I think you'd be awesome. If you thought before you act, I think you'd be awesome. But some relationships, I'm like, how in the world did they get together? What in the world going on? I look at some relationships, I'm like, whoa. I like, oh, I tell my wife, I won't tell nobody else, but if especially if I know them, I like, whoa, it blows my mind. All right, let's see if any of my questions get answered, because I asked some good questions. All right, appreciate the Mother's Day thing. This is that. I can't get there. Come on. My teleprompter stuff is not working properly, but we're going to get there. All right. And it's 2 months after a breakup, a rebound. Anytime you've been in any type relationship, they're all rebounds. The first one you get is typically the beginning of all, if you will. Generally, the first one after a breakup or divorce, whatever, generally the first one doesn't work. They're all rebounds. If you've been in a relationship and you starting it again with a new one, you're a rebound. Whether you're a rebound or they're a rebound, doesn't matter. You're a rebound. Anytime you've been in any type of relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, cohabitating or divorce, they're all rebounds. All right. And so my wife, I was married before, and she's a rebound. Even though I was living with somebody else, she's a rebound as well. So everything's a rebound. And so you fell down, you got to get up and move forward. That's kind of like the gist of it, but it's all rebound. All right. And so it's not a time limit, whatever. It's just because some people, they don't it's rebound, but you would think like, how in the world is she dating 5 dudes at one time or 3 guys at one time? That kind of stuff I don't understand. How can you have, and not just dating, but having sex? How can a woman have sex with multiple dudes at one time? And it happens, and y'all can't tell me it don't. I know for a fact it happens. And so at one point in my life, one time in my life, right, I was the other guy. So you can't tell me. And the girl that was with the dude, she was possessive of me, and that's another story. But that doesn't make sense. When you could be in multiple relationships at one time, that's not good. That I would have like the girl that had a boyfriend. I was the other guy, and I wasn't married. I was kind of out there, right? And I would never trust her. If you cheat on him, for me, that I always believe, and y'all take this to the bank, write this one down. If someone cheats on whoever they're with, their husband, their boyfriend, their cohabitating person, whatever, if they cheat on them for you, I guarantee you this, they'll cheat on you for somebody else. All right? They would cheat on you, on the real, for somebody else. And so you don't want to be in a relationship where it's gained by cheating, because you're not established. You have no foundation. You have no way to trust the person that you're with, because you cheating on whoever, and then they cheating. Or if you left a relationship because of you want somebody else, or or they are in a relationship at the same time that you left yours, and they would cheat on that person for you. If they cheat with you on them, then they would cheat with you. You know what I mean? So they're gonna, it's coming back around to you. And so I don't know why people think, if you cheat with me, you'll cheat on me. And that's one model I took with me. When I was out there dating, I always kept that with me. If you'll cheat with me, you'll cheat on me. All right? Y'all remember that. If you cheat that, and you say, I got that from the Mike Gilcreast show. If you cheat with me, you'll cheat on me. That's a true statement. I live by that. Seriously. I absolutely live by that. Because I believe that. I do not trust a person because I've been there. I'm not just here talking. When I was wild and crazy, I've been there. I was the other guy. And no way in the world I would have married her. There's no way in the world. And then she tried to be possessed of me. Girl, I don't see women like that. But women think they're all this and all that. No. You're all this and all that, all this and that when you're in a right relationship and you respect yourself, you respect your body, you respect relationship, you respect the boundaries and stuff like that. When you can sleep with multiple people, I mean, how do you expect to find love for real? And you sleep with multiple people, and some women like, I got him on Tuesday, him on Wednesday, and you could have sex and don't have a conscience. I never want a wife or a girlfriend or a fiance. Never like that. Never. If you could switch dudes around, because you don't have more morals. You don't have any values. When you don't even have self-respect, when you could be with multiple people, your body is it's like a treasure chest. You can't allow anybody and everything to have access to you. And you can't look at it like that. And I always want to talk about other things. I end up talking about something else because these topics are so interactive and they're so convoluted that you can move into many different directions, when talking, because relationship is so, divisive, and it's just many different places you can go, in it. And you got to know what you want. You know what I mean? You have to know what you want. You have to know how to get it. And you have to know your boundaries, and you have to have a standard. And you don't have to, but when you're in multiple relationships, listen to how I'm saying. If I was the other guy, if Holly Berry married, I think Holly Berry is gorgeous, right? She's married and she'd cheat on her husband for me. I don't care how much money in the world she has, right? She would cheat on me for somebody else. So in my mind, our term of being together would be short-lived. It would not be. I wouldn't want to marry Holly Berry, if she cheat on her husband for me, because she eventually going to cheat on me for somebody else. In my mind, I believe that, seriously. And I lived through it, and I don't know about you. Y'all can have this facade over your brain. Women, I'm talking to you, right? Y'all can have this thing, these blinders and filters, and be like, oh, he not cheating on me. Come on. If a person cheat with you, they cheat on you. Remember that. Do not trust people that cheat on you. Can people change? Yeah, they have to get in church. I believe people can change. But the thing is, Mike Gilcreast, if you cheat on me, you might as well stay on the other side, for real. You don't even think about coming back. Don't even think about. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. If I'm in a relationship or trying to build a relationship, and that's what we're talking about, right? And you decide to go cheat, and we're trying to build a relationship, and we supposed to be committed to each other, and I it's just me. It's just me, because everybody's not like me, because I didn't counsel people, and I let them know how I am. I love people. I believe in second chances. I do wholeheartedly. But cheating is, for me, Mike Gilcreast, just me. I draw the line. I don't care. Like I wouldn't even get mad, if I'm in a relationship and she cheat on me. I wouldn't even get mad. You could go. I will help you pack because I don't feel bad about that. Because if you don't cheat on me, come on, dude can have you. That's not even worth people getting mad. They have domestic violence. You trying to find love. I got hiccups. You trying to find love, and then all this cheating going on. You don't need that headache. You don't need that headache to hold you back and get you depressed and take you out of your character, and you can do bad by yourself. You don't need nobody to pull you down, whatever. And I'm not saying be like me. I'm telling you who I am, how I am. If you cheat on me, if you cheat with me, you'll cheat on me. And so if you want to leave, if my wife comes and says she's done, I'm in love with this other guy. Hey, it's all good. We had some good years. Dad, let's split it and press and do your thing. And that's kind of like who I am. Cause I know who I am. And I know what I'm about. And the thing is, it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta let go and go with the flow, and the thing is, I'm just not that guy. And cheating is something else. We try to find love, but people cheat in love, finding love. We look at the innocence of people like, oh, they're faithful to this because they're nice. And the thing is, you could be nice and still be a hoe. You can be nice and still be sleeping around. You can be nice and that being nice don't really mean nothing. It doesn't mean that you're locked into this relationship and you're going forward. It doesn't mean that. And so you got to know what your worth is. And if you don't know what you're worth, if you don't know your value, if you don't know that what you bring to a relationship you're a stand-up person, you're 100%, you give it 100%. If you don't know that and you get in a relationship, you insecure, you should not be in that relationship. If I was single, I go into any relationship, I'm 100% secure, 100%. I know what I'm bringing. And so what I look for are like your check sheet. You look at your checklist, check sheet or checklist, and look at what's not acceptable. When you find them attributes, be a person enough, strong enough to say, I'm not going for that. Because if you tolerate it in the beginning of a relationship, you don't tolerate it in long-term relationship like marriage or when you cohabitate. And I don't even advocate cohabitation. That's what people do. They live together and they think they can figure it out and they never get married. And so you don't want no life like that. See, you're not jipping me. You're not whatever. Like me and my wife, we got everything. If something happened to her, I'm the beneficiary. Something happened to me, she's a beneficiary. And we don't look at, what I could get from you, what you get from me. No, we built our life together. And so it's not like we don't have those, things like my wife. I'm constantly thinking she want to be with somebody else. No, I know what I bring to the table. She knows what she brings to the table. So we don't have those conversations. We don't look at that. Like the stuff I tell you guys, like if somebody cheat with you, they cheat on you. I never had that with my wife today. You know what I mean? My wife I had before, we call them your ex-wife, right? That's where I learned, if they cheat with you, they cheat on you. And that's a true statement. You know what I mean? And so I speak, wholeheartedly from experience and stuff. And I try to bring real stuff to the table, but y'all got to be real with this. Y'all get into relationships and say, for me, because I'm this and I'm not, they're going to change for me. Guys don't change for you. They change their game to get with you. And then after they get with you, the game's still on. That's why you save yourself. You're not losing nothing if you don't have sex until you marry. You're not where you losing? All right? And I'm here telling you, a guy's main goal is to get with you. Pull down them pants and move on into the next one. That guy's main goal is to get with you. All right? It don't matter who you are. I don't care how beautiful you are. Like I just told you, Holly Berry, if she wanted to cheat on her husband with me, I'd be glad, like, oh my God, I'm gonna get with Holly Berry. Wow. And the thing, I wouldn't want to be with her. I wouldn't be married to her. Seriously. And I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care what she about. I don't care whatsoever. You know what I mean? And so I'm ready to, keep it moving. So if I wasn't in church, yeah, Holly Berry be definitely somebody I'd be interested in, but not for a long term. Seriously, I wouldn't want her, you know. But other people will because she's famous, and I don't care about stuff like that. I'm not a materialistic person. That's why y'all got to know who you're meeting, because not everybody's materialistic. I got a car, I'm getting a car, I'm getting a house, I got money. Some people don't even care about that. So you got to know what interests people. I like the real relationship. For me, real relationship only exists for love. I do relationships for love. If it's not for love, I'm not interested. For real. Because I've been there, done that. And it has no value. You can't build a life. I've been there, done that, and maybe they won't cheat on me. You can't build a life like that. See what I'm saying? Can't build a life like that. You gotta know what you want and be exact. You can't play with this. You gotta hold your head up and say, this is a choice I make. This is what I'm going to do in the story. You cannot look at it from a standpoint, it's all about me. I'm that good. No, nobody's that good. Anybody could be cheated on. I've been cheated on. And so it's not my cup of tea. It's not what I'm interested in. And we got to come to the realization that people are going to be people. You got to know what value you put out and what value or energy you draw to you to make you want to have more in life, to do more. And so that's important. Let's get to another question. All right. Do you believe if both people in a relationship are emotionally available, healthy, and not using each other for distraction of relationship, um, distraction, not using each other for distraction, a relationship rebound can succeed regardless. If you go into a relationship, you've been in a relationship and you leave and you go into a new relationship and you come with a whole heart, the key to the thing, right? Women, yeah, women, y'all gotta be like smart, right? You get into a relationship, if all the guy wants is sex, guess what? That's all the guy wants. And so, and don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty and say, oh, this guy did this for me. This guy did for them, and I'm giving him sex. Do not use sex as a form of payment or because you feel guilty or because he's a nice guy. Do not use sex for that. Or this one time. We just going, once you give it one time, he gonna want to hit it again, 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 again. And then eventually until he's tired of you, he's gonna want to hit it and go from there. And then you'll leave that relationship and you wouldn't be married and go from there, right? So that's why I employ you all. I talk to you on all kinds of words and conversations. It's to save yourself until marriage. I don't care if you've been married before. I don't care if you got 3 kids. Do not have sex until after you get married because you get nothing in the deal. So why take nothing without having obligation? You see what I'm saying? You got to get these guys obligated, but your intention got to be right. You can't just be there for what you could get out of it because that doesn't work. That's not fair to both sides. All right. And so I wouldn't want to be in a relationship and all the woman wants is my money. I just want your money. Yeah. I can spend my money by myself. I go on trips by myself. I can do a lot of things by myself. I know how to cook, clean, the whole 9 yards. And so for me, it's got to be a win-win situation for real. It just can't be, oh, I'm desperate to get with you. And some guys are like that. Some girls can toy guys around their finger, this, that, and other. And what goes around comes around. So your intention when you're trying to find real relationship, true love, and if it's not true love, you're not really looking for nothing. You could go on the street and get a bum and he have sex with you. If you ain't want true love, just go get some knucklehead off the street and say, let's go have sex. but don't play with people's emotions and feelings and stuff, because and that's why I wear my emotions on my sleeve. You know exactly what you get with me. I don't play those games. And then I'm not naive enough to go with everything you say or what it looks like, or you see a few crocodile tears and you're like, oh baby, it's all right, I changed my mind because you're crying. No, guys know if that's real or not. Guys know if you just crying for real, crying, because I done seen all kinds of tears. I done seen tears where I broke girls' hearts. And so I seen in tears when people lost people, their loved ones. I seen tears when people found out bad news from the doctor's office. There's a different emotion. When a baby cry, you could tell if that baby crying because they hurt or they crying because they spoiled. You could tell there's a difference. So in women, there's a difference in how they shed tears and how they cry. It's different. You understand that after a while. And we play games. We play these games and try to emotionally bound people to the relationship. I like you, and oh my God, I don't think I ever find nobody else like you, and da 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 da. And you start crying. The guy say, "Oh baby, I'm here for you." And the guy like, "What'd I do that for? I just want to get the panties." Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And now it makes it that much harder for him to break up with you. But guess what? If he's not serious about you, he definitely gonna break up with you. And why women don't understand that? Why do every woman think they stuff is better than the next person? Stuff is stuff. All right. Sex is sex. And y'all, we try to make it like, oh, I got the best girl or dude, you don't know what you missing. Well, you shouldn't tell him what you don't know that, because if you got it all like that, you ain't worth having. For real. You ain't worth having. If your stuff is all like that and everybody wants you, then why is not life working out for you? Why aren't you married yet? Why are people not sweeping you off your feet? And so when people got all these accolades that they say good about them, and why you not in a relationship? Why you can't find love? So those are questions you ask. Why nobody's committed to you? You've been in 20 relationships and nobody married you. And you know what women will say? I'll tell you what. Yeah, I crack myself up sometimes. You know what women will say? I've been in a relationship. You know what they tell you, right? Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? They say, I've been engaged 3 times. I've been engaged. When you get engaged, that don't mean nothing. Yeah. My wife calls engagement rings when you doing bad situations, bad stuff, and you're not looking to get married. My wife calls, and I got this from her, right? But she calls engagement hush rings. What I mean, dudes, how you ask them when you're going to get married, when this happened, and so when's the wedding, when's the wedding, when's the wedding, when's the wedding, and a dude to give you the ring, because I know dudes that gave women rings and they ain't married yet. They ain't married yet. Years went by, they still not married. So you can't go by that. Well, a guy generally marries a woman 6 months to a year after meeting. All right. And so unless it's extenuating circumstances, probably could get up 2 years. But anything past 2 years, for real, it's I don't believe it's going to happen. And if it did, it's probably 5% chance that it will. 5% out of 100. The statistics aren't big. And so when you go into a relationship, you got to know the guy's main goal is to have sex with you. You got to know that. You have to know that. I wish I could beat it in your head. You got to know his main goal is to have sex with you. All right. I'm so glad I'm not on the market. All right. How often do rebound relationships work? Any relationship outside, like I'm married now, right? I don't think, it's probably, if it's not the first one, I think you got a 50-50 chance, for real. If it's not the first relationship you go into after a breakup, I think that your chances are 50-50 versus, 5-10% if you jump into the next relationship. You cannot jump into the next relationship until you know you are healed. And a lot of people aren't healed. They go into a relationship because I want to get out there. I'm tired of being lonely. Or they do the jealous thing or the guilt thing. He gonna wish he had me, because they go out there and look their finest and try to show up where the dude that they broke up with is at. Come on, you don't want that. A guy feels more hurt if you move on and you're not even looking his way. That hurts more than trying to flaunt yourself, trying to get back what you lost. You know, because women, that one of your faults, and to a point, is not to move on. See what I'm saying? You got something to prove. He got to see me. He got to see you broke up. Why do you care what he see? Why you care that you trying to prove something? It's not going to work. And so we go out the way to try to get the attention of the guy and try to cater to that. I cook the food and there's no strings attached. You come out and get your plate, whatever. And dude come over. I bet you 9 chances out of 10, either you try and seduce him or he don't try to seduce you. Period. That's just, everything, a lot of things is sex, money, and power. Everything centers around them three things. And then after you understand that, then, religion, you know what I mean? And but money, sex, and power, for real. That's at the top of the list. I mean, that's what people go for in relationships: money, sex, and power. And you got to know which one, where you fit in at. What are you after? What you're seeking? You got to figure that out. See, none of those things excite me. As far as for me to change my life, money, sex, and power. Because if that's your goal, especially from a woman to use it and a guy to go after it, it makes that guy, if a guy's chasing money, sex, and power, right? It makes him weak. Because if you can seduce him, guess what? Somebody else can too. And so you want a guy that's strong, understand what he wants, whatever. We don't take the time to find out what this guy wants, what this relationship is looking forward to, what I'm looking to gain, what is he looking to gain. We don't take the time to find out. We just jump into it. Oh, I got tired of being there, so I'm trying out. Or all your friends will tell you, oh, girl, you better go and get you some, because I know I would. Well, they probably single and sitting at home with roses in their hand, You got to know I still got it and whatever. I see women 30s, 40s, got kids, whatever, and they carrying it like I'm still on the market. They look like, I'll be nice. They look cheap. I'll say it like that. They look cheap. And so you don't want to gain a relationship looking cheap. Like I'm desperate, like I'm wearing it. And guys know you wear the heels, you wear the clothes that's revealing of your body. And you're like, look what I got. And guys be like, okay. Women, y'all come a dime a dozen. And so you got to make what you put out value added. You're a dime a dozen. But you got to say, they are not like me. I have standards, I have morals, I have values. You got to be different. Don't be like everybody else. Don't flaunt your stuff. Seriously, don't flaunt it. Let gravity, let life carry you itself. Don't be like, oh, look what I got. I told a 15 or 16-year-old girl with her mom, right? I tell her, I say, she wearing a shorts and a tube top, right? I say, with the way you dress right now, you could get a man, you could get a relationship, you can move on, you can get one right now. I said, I had 10 of those, 10 of y'all in my book. And I can't tell you what the names are or what they look like. And so we had the conversation. Her mother came back and said, thank you for talking to my daughter. Because I'm in the mind, you don't want to show everything. I'm in the mindset. I'm more conservative. Because why in the world? And I look at some of these guys, and some of these guys they look henpecked. They look like they whipped. They look like they, easy to manipulate, the whole 9 yards. And I look at the woman and she act like she all this and all that. Nobody has to be desperate. It's enough people out there to have the relationship that you want. It's enough people out there. You do not have to settle. You don't have to take less when you can have more. I don't believe in that. We got once to live. We got to have our best life now. All right, and do it for the right reason. All right, this is how often do rebound relationships work? I think it's probably 50-50 long as it's not the first one. And I never did a study on the rebound relationship, but I'm in a relationship. I've been married before, now I'm married again. And so I also was a, um, single guy, for a minute. And so um I think they work. Like anytime you start over and you come with the right intentions, as someone said earlier, and the right mindset, I think rebound relationship works. I think they're awesome, but it just can't be that first one. I'm against that first one. And so trust yourself because you're gonna make the wrong choices when your first one. You gotta have time to sort out and make sure you're over that person that you broke up with, that didn't work out. And a lot of people, I don't care what you say, you don't be over those relationships because you be too busy trying to find out what he doing, what they doing, and then you get attitude with them, which let them know that you still into them. And so it's a lot. It's not just one thing, that makes things work or relationships work or not. It's not. It's a lot. It's a whole lot, and you have to determine what you want. You got to figure it out. How can someone be to avoid a rebound? Hey, take your time. A lot of people don't take their time. We jump into a relationship. You gotta take your time. Take your time. No sex. I don't care if you're 40. I don't care if you're 50, 60. No sex. Don't give up sex. All right. I cannot make it plainer than that. You gotta save yourself. I I look at relationships, and the thing is, I know what I could do and not do, but I don't want a relationship where she's really, really, really easy. She's like totally, totally just easy. What I want that with? What I want to do with that? Everything's easy, easy, easy. I'm not saying being hard if you're loose or you're a whore or you're a prostitute, because you're going to see through that as well. But if you are a genuine person, then it's got to be hard to get to you anyway. You should have a standard, and it should not be, amenable to anybody. Anybody shouldn't have access to you. If you all this, all that, and I'm trying to find love, bring it. Bring the mysterious side of you. But if you bring in, hey, I know I could get a man and this, that, go and get your man, you know, because I don't have those conversations. You got to be real with me. You got to be real when you're in or wanting to be in relationship. And so anything less doesn't really work. All right. Do you believe people should not enter relationships simply out of loneliness because of yes, I do believe that. Because if you do, you'll mess up. That's why I say don't find the first one. Because I'll tell you, and this I'm digressing this a little bit. 15, 16-year-old girls, they may be having problems in their homes. They could be having, abusive type relationships or incestuous, incest and stuff type relationship with family members and da da da. Do you not know science have proved that girls will go through puberty faster, to grow breasts, to grow, wider hips, and her body, gets ready to, produce kids and stuff like that. Your body, when you're in bad situation, your mind acts. Your body, like she might be 15, 16, but her body would be a body of a 25-year-old. And so she putting out the wrong signals because she really want to escape from the relationship or the home that she's in, but only to move to something worse. And now she's being abused, or she's on the strip, or she's on the pole, whatever. But that's what happens when you make bad choices. You become a whore and don't even know you're a whore. You like, I started a relationship. What happened? I had sex with him. I started another relationship. What happened? I had sex with him. I started a relationship. And you continue that on because you think, I want to get back what I've been missing. Da, da, da. You can't, it doesn't work like that. You have to heal and break that other person off you. Get them spirits off you before you look to go into that next relationship. You have to get that junk off of you so you can move forward. I hope I said something. That's deep, deep stuff right there. Did I? Yeah, that's it. I think that's the last one. All right. Do you agree that building a relationship, especially right after another, should not be based on a need to fill a void? Yes, 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 yes. Because women, I'll tell you, if you don't know how your mind works until you get in a situation, you are so vulnerable after a relationship. I'll tell you, it was easy for me to have a relationship with somebody who just broke up with somebody else. It was easy. I'm telling you. And you could tell the hurt. I don't say everything right. I don't do everything right. Everything he messed up, I'm going to listen carefully and I'll be like, boom, 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 boom. And you'll be like, oh my God, this is the guy. This guy is so nice. He's so attentive to me. And da 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 da. I don't give you everything you looking for. Girl, I've been waiting on somebody like you. My last relationship, it was marriage. And I don't want to look at a woman again until I'm ready to get married. And you're that person. And she'd be like, wow, y'all hear what I just said? That's the game I was running. That's how I was throwing down. And so I would blow your mind and you'd be like, wow, this is the guy. And then after it's all said and done, now I moved on. He'd be like, I thought this was guy. He's a dog. Well, that's what guys are. Why do you have to get in a bad situation to realize guys are dogs? You got somebody on the podcast. You got somebody who wrote a book, Unworthy Children. This is a book behind me, also in Spanish, right? Tomorrow I'll be in Tampa. I'm doing a book signing, just so you know. And we'll post that stuff out. You'll see it on Facebook and Instagram. Hopefully later today. I'm trying to. I've been so far behind, but I'm doing a book signing next week. But I wouldn't be selling these books, doing the stuff I'm doing, tapping into relationships the way I am, if I was not successful. If my conversation wasn't successful, I wouldn't be doing this. I got a good thing. My product is awesome. It's outstanding. It's changing lives, relationships. That's why I could talk about this stuff. But guys would adhere to everything. If I was a dog, I'll tell you, I told my wife, I said the other day, it was I think Thursday. We ran out of, I think, lemons because I was about to make juicing. We drink these beet juice shots and stuff and build up blood immune system. But I had to go get lemon or something from the store. And believe me, when as soon as I got in the store, I got on my because I dressed down, I got on some shorts and, like khaki shorts and a t-shirt and my hat on. And soon as I walked in the store, this female walked by me and she was like, I had all eyes, all teeth, and the smile. So I knew if I wanted to get with that, I could have had her number. For real. I went home like a good old husband and told my wife, right? And so when you look at the thing, yes, people are attracted to me. It is what it is. I can't help that. I can't control that. Nothing. But I didn't want to jump at anything. As much as I can do things on my own and have the independence of my life, I can have side pieces right now. It doesn't interest me. That's why you got to know what you want. You got to know what you're willing to give up. If I'm married and a girl interested in me, it's like if she cheat with me, y'all know my motto. I truly live by that. If she cheat with me, she cheat on me. So you got to have things set up for you. Do your checklist. So before you go into relationships, you got to know. I'm showing you the deep side of relationship because we're trying to find love and we talk about single moms. We talk about mom having kids, this and another. And I know women, young girls out there, they chasing celebrities and hope they get their attention. And then they don't get the ring. Women, y'all don't, if y'all chasing dudes, and I tell women all the time, if you chasing any kind of guy, I don't care if he's famous, I don't care if you're a groupie, I don't care if whatever, you're a fan of somebody, a woman should never have to chase a man. Never. Never. You don't have to be a groupie. You don't have to be the end thing. If you're going to get noticed just because you're a woman, if you got your act together, you got your conversation together, and you're not loose. If you lose, you're getting I'm taking a, oh my God, I'm on a date with LeBron James and whatever he wants, he can get from me. That's how women talk. That's how they talk. You can't be a hoe. You know what I mean? And that can't be the mindset that you're in. All right. And so love is hard to find, especially if you're not ready. It is terribly hard to find. And last week, last time I was on the podcast, I poured my heart out. I let you guys know, where it's at. I'm trying to save relationships. Tomorrow, I'll be in conversation. And I'll tell you, if I get a conversation that I'm bringing back to my podcast, y'all going to hear about it. I'll be like, I met somebody and boom, 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 boom. I ain't going to tell you who they are, though. But I meet all kinds of people and I talk about all kinds of things, all kinds of relationship stuff, and people just haven't figured it out, and it's not any game anybody can run on me and and I'm not figure it out. Even if they was after me and I'm not figured out, I figured it all out. Relationships are relationships. And we date, we date foreigners, we date this, we date that. It's all kinds of people you meet. People make babies in China, Japan, Russia, Germany, Poland, America, South America. Come on, somebody. They make babies all over. Relationships is relationships. We always make it more than what it is. No, slow your roll. You see what I'm saying? Know who you are, what you want, what you're looking for, and know your standards, know your boundaries before you really go find love. One of the problems, the question that keep coming up is, do rebound relationships work and stuff like that? If you're quick to have sex, no, it's not going to work because you're using sex to pull somebody in. And the thing is, like you'd be like, Bishop, no, your podcast, no. Then why did women back in the day that didn't get pregnant for guys, lied to guys, told the guy that they were pregnant just to have a relationship with the guy, and during the course of them being together, they end up getting pregnant? Come on. Women would lie to get a guy. I don't understand it. But if any woman got to chase a guy, got to lie to get a guy, you ain't worth having, for real. You're not worth having. If you all that, the dude's going to track you down, you're going to be able to sustain yourself, not have sex because you got something, you're doing something when you don't have to have sex to be with someone. All right. So I think I answered all the questions, and I'm pretty sure I answered this one. Do you agree that building a relationship, especially right after another one, should not be based on need to fill a void? Yeah, I read. It shouldn't be based on need to fill a void. So yeah. But it all works out. Know what you want. Get your standards together. I can harp on this. I'm telling you, I love this subject, and I really want to help people. And I probably have some new people on this week because I'm let them know at my book signing that I'm doing a podcast on finding love on the rebound, especially these people that's looking. And so hopefully we get some new folks on the show and go from there. But we tell your single people, tell people looking for relationships, get on my show because we have a lot to talk about, and so a lot to do. And I want the success of relationships to be connected to you, and not just anybody. You got to know you're it, regardless of what. You got to know you're it. It's all about what you're doing, what you bring to the table, and that's where you want to be. All right. So I always say faith connected to the power words bring forth the reality of God. My show's over for today. And so I'm glad you participated. I'm glad for the questions and stuff like that. Know what you want. I cannot express it enough, but you know what? I learned a lot about relationships from going to church. Here's my church flyer. If you're in the Orlando area, that's our church. I'm the region director for the Florida region through my church organization, Apostolic Faith Fellowship. We call it AFFI. And but I learned a great deal of my foundation from the church ministry and understanding how God created love and relationships as well. So I bring a lot of that to the table. But here's my information. Take a picture of it, jot it down. Come and see us. And we do highly and always appreciate you, so that's what it's about. Without you, it wouldn't be me. I wouldn't have a show, but I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad the followers are here. Spread the word. Tell somebody about, this is a great show that we are trying to help people with relationships. And believe it or not, people need it. The people absolutely need it. So we have that, but I appreciate everybody. Seriously, I appreciate you as we go forward. All right. And until next time, I'm going to try to be back online next Friday. If I don't make Friday, because I'm doing a book signing, and that's the reason I wouldn't make it. So if I don't make it next Friday and I get stuck in traffic or whatever, then we'll probably just see you next Sunday. So I'm gonna try for next Friday, but if not, if you follow me, if you subscribe to my channel, you'll know if I change the date or change the time or something like that. So you'll know because it'll update you. It'll let you know, that it's an update and beam in, make sure you don't miss the show and go from there. But it's tentative for next Friday because I'm doing a book signing. I'll be back and forth tomorrow through next Saturday doing book signing. And I just got a whole bunch of books coming in and I got to get, some of them got damaged, so they got to fix it and stuff like that. But yeah, but we do have books to do the book signing. And then we have to get some books fixed and stuff like that. So we go from there. But appreciate all the prayers and everything that we're doing as we go forth. All right. So is what it is.
God, you taught me to trust you. You show me how to believe. You're the author and the finisher of what you started me. So I'm not gonna doubt it. I'm gonna hold on to peace. 'Cause if I have you and nothing else, I still.
Hey, are you ready? Hey, are you ready? Are you ready to go? Tell me what you wanna know. A real live episode, Mike Gilcreast podcast show. Hey, are you ready? Hey, are you ready? We keeping it real, y'all. Are you ready to go? Tell me what you wanna know. A real live episode, Mike Gilcreast podcast show. Hey, are you ready? Hey, are you ready?